Y'all boys is too little. Y'all can't stop this, man. We too big. And they can't. We're going to do this to all the teams in the East. We're going to do this to teams in the West as well. This is our style of play. We were at the Sixers. To me, we went to an old school mentality where we're going to be the best defensive team in this league. Offensively, we're going to pound it down low. And our shooters are going to be open because they're going to be sending consistent double teams at our bigs. Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Ben Simmons. You already know how his game is. He's coming downhill all the time. So the shooters are going to be open. Like that, I think that is the question with the team is like spacing. Now the league is pace and space pretty much. Everybody, you need shooters. You need to spread the floor. That's how everybody plays. We're going against the grain. We're going back like an old school mentality. We're playing defense. We're going to pound the rock down low, and then we're going to take our open shots when they're there. We'll see how it works out. So far, so good. Beat the shit out of the Celtics. Locked them up on defense. Tough time for them. Now, we had a tough time scoring as well. Our offense was not efficient, but I think it gets better over time. For me, the key is Joel Embiid's health, and then also his playmaking ability out of the post. He has to. I still haven't seen it out of him. The development of finding that open player quickly, because as soon as he catches the ball in the post and he goes to make his move, they're sending a double team. Embiid has to get to better at finding that open player, because he missed a lot of them. Like he missed a couple of Mike Scott cuts. He missed a couple of wide open threes for Tobias Harris. He has to get better at that. Ben Simmons, he has to get a jump shot. He has to start taking the shots. It doesn't matter if, like with me with Simmons, and we seen him finally taking hit or three, which I went crazy over. But with Simmons, he has to be able to step into a three where he's wide open. I get that you can get to the rim at any point in time, but the catch the ball at the three wide open and then drive into a crowded paint, that has to stop. Or it has to be less of it, I should say. Don't necessarily stop. Don't change your game. That's what makes you. That's what makes Ben Simmons Ben Simmons. But you have to add on to that. You have to start taking those threes. You got to start taking those open threes. Open middies. You got to start taking them. Those are the better shots. Whether you make them or not, that's another story. We'll see. But we won't know until you start taking them. So you got to shoot those, Ben. Al Horford. I like Horford a lot. I think he gives us that other element on defense. Obviously, the concern with him is that he's old. He's 33 years old, about to be 34. We signed him to a 4-year deal. Excuse me. So will he be able to keep up with these smaller players on the perimeter? He did a decent job on Jaylen Brown when he's checking him. Jaylen Brown kind of sucks, but okay. That was kind of mean. Nah, you do. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, man, I like the Sixers team. Shout out to my man Matisse Thybulle off the bench. Clamp God, perimeter defender, supreme. Him and Richardson, they did a number on Kemba. Kemba 2 for 14 or 2 for 18 or 4. It was some crazy stat line, but he was bad, and that was all Sixers defense, man. He's like that was the thing with the Sixers, was like little guards killed us last year. Like Kemba went off for 60 last year against us. Kyrie was fucking us up. D'Angelo Russell and Dinwiddie was fucking us up. I hated playing teams that just had quick ass little guards and that can get in and out and score. This year, this ain't the case no more. Not only like do we have the size inside, obviously, but Ben Simmons has improved his perimeter defense. Like he shut down D'Angelo Russell in the playoffs last year. Like took him out the game. He couldn't do nothing. Josh Richardson, perimeter defender, excellent, supreme. He's on those guys. And then we could bring a guy off the bench like my man Matisse Thybulle, who that's all his game. He talks about it, man. Yo, some people go out and look for shots. I'm going out to get steals, lock up somebody, and then the shots will come on the opposite end. I love that mentality. I love that. Tobias Harris, $180 million man. Efficient game last game for him. I was talking to my boys on Xbox, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't too happy with Tobias Harris. Like, what do you mean? Like, the dude was 2 for 5 from 3. He's 6 of 11 from the field, or 6 of 12 from the field. 15 rebounds, 15 points. Oh shit, y'all got a point. I'm expecting, and I think what we do a lot of is we see the contract, and then we expect certain numbers to kind of rectify why they got that contract. And I do that a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trying to do that less. Like Horford is a prime example for that. Like Horford's not going to give you $100 million numbers where he's averaging 20 and 10. But what you sign up with for Horford is solid defense, great teammate, great leadership, and then also decent 3-point shooter. Shit like that. Like it's the little shit, the shit that a lot of times that the box scores don't show. Tobias Harris, although I think he is going to be probably second in scoring for us. Next to Embiid, I think Embiid is going to be the primary scorer. But Bryce is definitely a very important player. I think he's going to be that guy where we give him the ball in crunch time, and he takes over that Jimmy Butler role where we give him the ball and it's go make a play. Can he do that? I believe he can. I've seen it in LA. I've seen him when he was at the Clippers. I've seen him hit game winners. I've seen him lead his team down the stretch, comeback victories, and crunch time buckets. I think he can do it in Philly. And with him, it's just, knock down your open ones, man. You're going to be open a lot. We don't have a JJ Redick on this team where I can fly around screens and hit off ball or off catch jumpers. We don't have that guy no more. You have to be one of the people that kind of replaces that production. Like JJ Redick was very important to our team offense last year, and now we have to run a different type of offense. So Tobias Harris has to knock down those shots. Josh Richardson has to knock down those shots. And then I think with us, our bench, I think we need a backup point guard still. We signed Trey Burke and we got Raul Neto. They didn't even, I don't think they played last game, or they did. They got like garbage time minutes when the game was over. But like Richardson experiment as the backup point guard. We'll see how that works out. I think that probably ultimately what we do in the playoffs, kind of what we did with Butler last year. But ultimately, I still think we need like a backup point. Like if I don't know, let's say like Derrick Rose becomes available, I would love to make that. Like I can't really think of any decent backup players. Like McConnell, I like McConnell a lot. I miss TJ. Shout out to TJ. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I like my Sixers team a lot. We're one of the top two teams in the East. I think we're hands down the best. I think we are the best team in the East. With second best being the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the predictions that was coming out from NBA analysts to start the season, it was pretty much just like Bucks. Like everybody's on the Bucks. The Bucks are favored to go to the finals in the East. The Bucks are this. The Bucks are that. I'm like, I don't understand how the Bucks can be favored. I mean, obviously they got the best player in the Eastern Conference with Giannis. Like Giannis is right now, I think he's probably the second best player in the league behind Kawhi. And he's definitely the best player in the Eastern Conference, ahead of Embiid, a couple of slots ahead of Embiid. I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm not biased. You know what I'm saying? I see what I see, and you know what I mean? Like I'm not I can't find the wording right now, but I'm not a biased fan. I try not to be a biased fan at the most part. Like I kind of make my judgment based off of what I've seen. What I see from Giannis, man, this dude is elite. He's fucking phenomenal. So if they're relying on that was just like Giannis alone, okay, all right. But then you look at the rest of his team, like Chris Middleton, and I'm a Middleton fan. Like I got a lot of slack on social media when I said that I would take Chris Middleton over CJ McCollum. I think he's a better player, like overall better player, two-way player. There, can go and get a bucket, can go and play defense, and also he has that clutch gene, man. The man knocked out some big shots for the Bucks. That's just my opinion on it. But I like Middleton. Brook Lopez literally transformed himself. That dude went from a pure post scorer to a pure stretch big and rim protector. Glass cleaning lockdown. That's his build. Again, another 2K reference. Well, actually, now I wouldn't even say that. He's a decent rebounder. But he can hit those threes. But, yeah, I'm just not sold on their other players there. Like, Bledsoe, he's good. Like, he's a very good defender. He just doesn't, he's kind of like the new Lowry. He's like the new Kyle Lowry. He just doesn't show up. in the playoffs. He's shit in the playoffs. Like let's call it what it is. Call it a spade. He's bad. He's bad in the playoffs. He looks terrible. George Hill, he had a very good playoff run, but I'm not relying on George Hill to be one of my better players. Although I would take him on my Sixers team right now. I think he would be a solid backup point guard for my Sixers. But yeah, I don't want George Hill playing crunch time minutes for me. I'm sorry, I don't want that. And then the big loss for them, like I don't understand how the Bucks got better when they lost one of their three best players in Brogdon. Honestly, you could have made the argument that Brogdon was their second best player last year over Middleton. And they lost him to the Pacers. Well, they traded him, I should say. They replaced him with Wesley Matthews, who's been washed since his torn Achilles. He's been done. He's a solid bench guy. You know, I wouldn't mind Wesley Matthews coming off the bench and giving me 10, 12 minutes a game, but he's starting. He's starting for the Bucks, and we'll see what their crunch time lineup is going to be. It's probably Bledsoe, Hill, maybe. So maybe he won't be a crunch time guy. It'd be Bledsoe, Hill, Middleton, Giannis, and then probably Lopez. That'd probably be their crunch time lineup. You know, but I don't know. The Wesley Matthews signing, I'm like, that doesn't do it for me. Robin Lopez, they got the Lopez twins together. He's playing backup center for them. So, yeah, man. The Bucks, I think, obviously, I think they're the second best team in the East behind the Sixers. I think the Sixers, we kind of built our team to beat the Bucks as well. Like we got two of the players that play better defense on Giannis with Embiid and Horford. Now Giannis is unstoppable. You can't stop him. He's an unstoppable player. He's in that category. He's unstoppable. Shit. Ain't no other way to word it. But with Horford and Embiid, they're the two players that can slow him down. So instead of him going off for 35, he might go off for 28 instead. You know what I mean? Instead of him shooting fucking 12 for 16, he might shoot 10 for 16. You know, them two extra shots might not go down. It's just something like little shit like that where it can swing a game just like that. Basketball can swing a game just like that. So yeah, man. Bucks, second best team in the league, or in the East, I should say. The third best team, to me, is Toronto. I know my Celtics fan right now is just talking shit. Like, man, what the fuck you mean Toronto? Yeah, Toronto. I think Toronto's a better team than the Celtics, even without Kawhi. You want to know why? Siakam. He is him. Siakam was ready. Pascal is ready. He's ready to take that leap, man. He's ready to. We seen it last year, where he most improved player in the league, and man went from averaging 9 points to almost 18 a game, almost 9 rebounds a game. Playoffs, huge game 1 for the Raptors. Fucking took it to the Warriors and had a really good final series in general. And he's a perfect Batman or perfect Robin to Kawhi's Batman. He's the second best player in the Raptors team. I don't get this. Kyle Lowry was the second place. No, Kyle Lowry was probably the fourth best player because Van Vliet was better than Lowry and was better than Lowry. Since when he had his baby in the playoffs, Van Vliet became a different player. He was better than Lowry. But yeah, man, Siakam is him. He's ready. He's ready to take that leap, man. He has took the onus on that team. He's the man for that team, and I think he's gonna have an awesome season. Another person is Van Vliet, Freddie Van Vliet, man. My cousin Nick, shout out to my cousin Nick. He said at one point that him and Lowry should just trade contracts, and they should, man. They honestly should. Van Vliet is ill, man. He is something different. He just knocks down shots when they need it the most. You can give Van Vliet the ball. The pressure doesn't get to him. He takes that big shot and he makes that big shot. I like him a lot. And on top of that, he's a really good defender. He did a hell of a job on Steph Curry last year in the finals. As good of a job as you could do. And then it came on the opposite end. He hit some crazy big shots for him.